everybody, Logan ISL here, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you guys my route that I'm going to recommend to you guys in order to be able to unlock the third ring. So yeah, we're already going to go ahead and I'm just going to show you in this video how to unlock the third ring. Last episode you went ahead and beat 3 towers inside of ring 1, and then went into Forgotten Ridge and beat 2 additional steeples to be able to then unlock the second ring. So now today I'm going to go ahead and take you to the next part of your journey, which is going to be ring 3. So this episode we're going to go ahead and get to ring 3. Next episode, which is going to be our last one, I did decide to extend this guide to ring 5, because in order to get to the 5th ring, you're going to need to beat some challenging towers. But let me warn you, this journey to ring 3 is going to be a rough one. And I think out of all the ring unlocks that we're going to do in the beginner's guide, this one is going to be the most painful. So let me go ahead and go into the ring select and show you why this is going to be a massive problem today. Alright, here we are in the ring select. As you can see, in here, you can see this difficulty bar. So what this difficulty bar does is it shows you the difficulty of towers in every ring. And as you go down the game, you'll notice that for the most part, every ring slowly gets harder and harder for the most part. Obviously, ring 8, you do have a couple towers here that are braced, but ring 7 kind of sucks. Ring 6 is hard. Ring 5 is a little bad. Ring 4 is pretty okay. But here's ring 3. If you notice, a lot of the towers here are pretty easy. This is a break ring, and it even says it is. In order to unlock this ring, we need to have 9 tower points. Remember, this doesn't show you the actual story of what you need. So this is recorded afterhand. I've already unlocked ring 4 for this account, but we need this number to say 9. If you put your mouse over it, it'll show what you have now. Right now it'll say 4, but if you played it on the second world at all, do it here. This will give you an accurate representation. So the problem is with this ring is that all the towers here are very easy, and ring 5 is going to make you get a challenging difficulty tower for you to unlock it, which is a little bit of a stretch. And we also need 4 difficulties. Like, that is a lot of on the table here. And we haven't, and for the third ring, we only need to beat 1 of them. So we need to beat like 3 more difficult towers and a challenge ring in order to unlock this 5th ring. So obviously you're going to need a lot of skill. Well, ring 3 isn't going to help you too much. Well, yes, it does have 3 hards and 3 difficulties. The reality is the difficult towers in ring 3 are not that good. They're just not going to be that helpful, and it's just not going to be a great time. So I do not recommend people to really play the third ring difficult towers to try and, like, you know, get difficult tower points in order to unlock ring 4 and stuff like that. So therefore, what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to raise your skill level a lot to be able to prepare you to get that challenging tower. So we're going to go ahead and make the insanely hard trek to be able to unlock the third ring in this video while doing some very difficult towers. Let's go to ring 1 and start this adventure. Alright, so here we are. We're back at ring 1. Remember last episode when I said that these towers were a little bit too hard? Well, hate to say it, it's time we do them. And it's time for us to go over one of the most popular JTO debates. Which one of these towers is harder? Well, if you look at the chart, it's Tower of Hecc, right? Well, there's a problem with that. Let me explain to you the problems with these 2 towers. And sometimes even keyboard the difficult one, comes into this as to what is harder, but like I said, we'll get into this. So, Tower of Killjoys is that weird wonky frame that we saw in the first episode. It's this guy right over there. It's this one. The thing about this tower is you go up the first 5 floors, and then you connect over to the second half, and then you go down the floors. The good news is these floors have nets around them. So really, as soon as you get to the second half, as long as you are not careful enough and do not die to kill bricks, you're actually good to go. So really, you have to really mainly worry about this first half, and this first half of Killjoys is hard. It is really difficult just to get to floor 3, and then you have 2 more floors. This tower also has a bunch of gimmicks that Toast doesn't teach you. This is the newest tower in this ring. and it's obvious. It has lots of new things and lots of confusing mechanics you probably haven't seen before. So keep that in mind. But we also have the other hard tower that's barely higher up on the chart, and that's Tower of Hecc. This is the game's first tower, and it's the bare bones basics, but the thing is, where this tower gets its difficulty from is small studs. Yes, small studs. So those annoying small little blocks, this tower right here uses a lot of them. The thing is, Killjoys does that too, but Killjoys likes to use wraparounds. So it's really hard. It mainly depends on who you are, which one of these towers you think is harder. If you want to know my personal opinion, I think it's better for you to learn how to do smaller studs before you start doing wraparounds. Because wraparounds are way harder to execute than learning muscle memory. So, my recommendation to you is to play both of these towers synchronously and figure out which one you think has a better chance of you completing it. And then just going ahead and working hard on that one. For most, a lot of people will do TOK first, but honestly I feel like TOK is harder, but that's me. You might find TOK easier. Make sure you play around with both of these towers and figure out which one is better for you. Just remember, you might think Killjoys is really hard, but you do have that second hat that's over a net. Killjoys is also the longest tower that you will beat so far. It's a very long one in the early area. It's a long one. So personally, I'm going to go ahead and go with difficulty chart order. I would personally recommend watching my tips and stuff throughout both of these towers before you attempt one. Figure out which one you think looks easier, play through it, think you can do it, do that one. It takes a lot of trial and error. So, let's go ahead and start with Killjoys. Alright, since we're going to be using some harder techniques in this episode, I decided I'm going to show you my keyboard inputs so that you can see a little bit of what I'm doing, so that you can at least see what I am doing. So, the first thing you want to be worried about is this first wraparound. Yeah, literally the first jump of this tower is a wraparound. It uses them a lot. So that's why you can do this, but this is where this makes it way easier. Like, trust me. It is way easier to just do this. It makes it way simpler. Now, in order to do a wraparound better, especially because this is your longest one you've dealt with, you want to get toward the edge, and you want to press the D key, or whatever direction you're going. If you're going left, then you want to press A. But you usually want to do this to the right, and you can't do it to the left anyway, because you'll hit your head. You want to press D for a little bit, then space. See? And then just rotate your mouse slowly. Now, if you want to make your mouse more sensitive, you have a camera sensitivity option, and you can up it or make it lower. Personally, I use 1.1. You can even type in a number if you want to be more specific. I use 1.1. I play with a very sensitive mouse. Like, no joke, the mouse I have is 2400 DPI, if you know what that is. So, literally first jump right away. It's a wraparound. You're gonna have some issues with it at first, trust me. Here's your first mechanic that Toast doesn't teach you. And by the way, Toast is actually getting revamped as of now. Like, no joke, there's literally a revamp being worked on for it. So, the Toast that you'll play is going to be a little bit different than the one in the first episode. New players, so sorry. Alright. So, this is a switching platform. So, what happens is, notice how this is off and that's on? Now, it changed when I went to the other side. So, now what I can do is I can land on this one stud. Now I can't. So here's what you're supposed to do here. You want to get it up to this position, and then you want to tap D so it moves back, and then you gotta jump off. Like that. I am very smart. Alright, let's try that again. Push this over, and now tap it over, like that. Now you may proceed. Now this spinner jump can be a little bit difficult. Even though it may look like it's pretty easy, it's very easy to mistime this, so. You want to try and get as close to the middle of a spinner as you can, since it's moving slower toward the middle. So try and jump far when you're on a spinner, because this is way slower than what it is over there. So that's a basic tip for you. That jump onto the ladder will take you some practice. It is a little bit tricky. But after you do that, you're literally already at floor 2. And now, you have another gimmick. A turret. This way you don't need to worry about, and most of the time when you see turrets, it's rare anyway, and you don't need to worry about them. They just act like kill bricks, but they're balls that hurt you. You literally do not need to worry about it. You can literally go slow and jump over those turrets, and you're going to be fine. But because I'm really used to blocks like this, I'm rushing through them. I wouldn't recommend you do that. When you get on top of this dress, by the way, just press space. It'll be fine. Now here you get to choose a path. If you're really good at wraparounds, you can wrap onto this. And then you have these 1x1 blocks that are pretty hard to see. So if you've done TOH first, that's going to be easier to do. And you skip this entire outside. But if you can't do that, you'll have to do this part. Now these are falling platforms, so you have to run very quickly. And then you'll be sent to this outside, which does have some, you guessed it, wraparounds over it. Remember when Toast warned you of long jumps? Yeah. Make sure you be careful. That is way longer than you think it is. Trust me. But now we're back to here, which is where we originally started. So now when you get to here, it gets even more confusing. Because this is a button, and it doesn't tell you. Hear the beep, or the blurp? Yeah, now you activated this. And do not go on those tight ropes, by the way. They're fakes, so be careful. And when you go on this ladder, make sure to do it like a head hitter jump. Because if you don't, let me show you a good example of what can happen. I'm going to fail on purpose. See? That can happen. Now you don't have to worry about that. Now, you get to the worst wraparound of the tower, which is this thing. And you know you're there when it has a Thanos head on it. And you're on floor 2, so yeah, it's literally that hard. What you do, and you cannot go to the right on this wrap, by the way, is just try and avoid the ladder and rotate well. What some people may do is use alignment keys and then do what I did. Look at the keyboard overlay. Find out what works for you. I think the wraparound's easier. This is way harder to get used to with muscle memory. I'd recommend you just do the wrap. It's way simpler. But make sure you are careful about your health because that will eat it. So then you're going to push through this wall. And now you're on the outside. You want to come to the end of the path here. And you'll have a button. Now what you have to do is head on to here in order to make it to a tower crossing. Just keep moving, it'll teleport you right in. So for those who don't know what this is, and probably most of you don't, this is the little secret tower that's in Ring 1. And, well, it doesn't give you any special points, so I didn't show it. You have to get up there in 20 seconds. This is fairly simple. I'm going to show you how I do it so that you can see it, but this is going to be a little bit tricky for you. And I made it through with 5 seconds left. But now you may ask, oh no, I fell on the outside. What do I do? If you learn the corner clip in Toast, you can do that. You can clip right back in. Get into a position like this, and then just press the shift lock key. And then, hopefully, it'll take a little bit. You'll be able to glitch back in. Or you can do it front-facing like this. But be careful, because you can get flung this way. But that's fairly rare, especially on something like this. It'll take you a lot of tries, but you'll be able to go back in here. You can always do the really hard way of getting in. And that's laugh clipping. Now, Roblox reverted the physics, so it's way harder to get in, but if you know how to laugh clip, that's another way. This server has easy laugh clips, so that won't last very long, sadly. When you get here, be careful. Try and get on top of that. So the way you jump high like this is you press space, and then tap W to get on there. It's way easier. And then, well, you're done with the tower crossing, and you make it to floor 3. Good job. Just climb up this ladder, and then jump onto the wind pad. The jump looks far, don't worry about it. Here's a wraparound pyramid! Hopefully you're good at wraparounds. It will make this way easier, because now you have to do wraparounds onto one studs like this. It's a freaking nightmare. Best thing I can say to you is just trial and error, and hopefully you'll pass it. Remember the tight ropes. Keep your cursor on it, like this, so you won't fall off. Very important. When you get to the other side here, when you get to here, just jump off. And now when you press this button, well, what the heck is this? This is a push box, and look what happens when it touches the red. It kills it. So what you have to do is you need to push this across the course, which the easiest way to do that is shift lock. This will take practice, but make sure you give it room. You need to have room for it to go through. So see how I went from the right side there? Now I'm pushing it left, so I have room to push it through like this. It's okay if a little bit is over the edge. Don't worry about it. And then you can go ahead and have the push box press the button. If you try to push the button, it will do nothing. You have to have the push box do it. Now this is a key. This is basically a fancy button. If you get it, it will follow you like this. I highly recommend you don't have these things allow you to follow you because they are really annoying. Go to settings and go into key display limit and then just turn it off like that. You won't have... Then it'll just like sit in your inventory like that. You don't need to worry about it. But you take this key and then open up the store. And then you're able to progress on to floor 4. So now this floor, you need to find 20 keys. Yeah, there's 20 keys you have to get before you can open the door. So, yeah, there's 20 different keys you need. Make sure you do this outside first, though. When you get to here, you need to do this outside first. So push this all the way out. And you'll hear a button go off. And then you can jump and go back down. If you don't, you can literally trap yourself out here. So be careful. So the beginning of this outside is pretty simple. Then you get to here. These are blinking platforms. These are fairly rare. These are platforms that blink. So be careful that you do not accidentally fall off. Take it nice and slow. Don't do anything until you see it blink. And then you'll be able to go through here just fine. Just take your time. But yeah, make sure you have everything out of and outside before you continue. If you're missing a key, as always, I have videos in the description that help you. As you see, this outside is clean, so I'll head on out and continue on. Alright, here's another tip I have. Make sure you're completely done with this outside before you exit it. Because if you don't, you won't be able to get back here. This is just a platform, you don't need to go on the sides, don't worry about it. So, make sure you're completely done. Make sure you got nothing on the outsides. Oh yeah, climb up the ladder like this. That might be a little weird to you. Because watch what will happen. It closes it. And then you won't be able to get this last key. Be careful. But once you got everything, which I didn't, as you can see there was a key I missed. So for this key, what you need to do is head over here, and you'll see this lightly visible path. Then you can collect it. So it's very easy to miss a key. Be careful. Alright, now that we're in here, this is going to take you a little while. It's really hard to get out of this. It's really weird. Just take your time. It'll take you a while to find your way out. Make sure you look up. See what you can do and not do. I got no tips for you other than to just keep up with your surroundings and find a way out. It's really bad. This is one of the worst parts of the tower for sure. Alright, when we get up here, when you get on top, don't do this wrap to the right. You'll hit your head. You have to do this one to the left. Left wraps are harder, so be careful. It's very easy to get screwed like that. Now you're on floor 5. If you get up here, this floor is typically pretty easy, so great job if you make it here. Feel free to get nervous, because once it gets to the second half, you're over nuts, so. Now, here's the thing with this part. This is another push box, but there is pushing platforms. This is where you gotta get a little bit careful. Get near the pushing platform. Or the shover, I'm sorry. And as soon as it gets out of your way, go. Make sure you and the box are out of the way. And then you'll have a second one. Same ordeal again. Go on top of the box if you need to. It's completely fine. Now for this one, this side doesn't hurt. So if you push this further left, you'll be fine. But then you'll hit the push box killer. So just continue through. Then you'll be able to press the button. And then you can get on top of here. This part is really easy to get screwed on. This is a balloon from earlier. But now just push these balloon killers. These will kill your balloon. So you want to get the balloon. And immediately start running forward. You can go through the balloon killers. You're fine. And just like that, I got screwed. Very easy. So if you get trapped like this... Oh, never mind. Once you get on here, though, make sure you press space, because that will get rid of the balloon. This balloon will not go away unless you press space, so be careful. Then, that elevator will just take you right here. And now, you're at the connecting part to the second half. Great job. So just get on top of these, and then just keep rolling forward, and then you'll be able to continue through. So I might be asking, oh no, I fell. Oh, never mind. Yeah, if you fail there, you just get teleported back here, so don't worry about it. But yeah, pretty much when you're up here, you're done. As long as you do not give up or die somewhere, you've beaten the tower, so great job. When you get to here, though, this might confuse you. You can actually climb up trusses at angles like this, and you'll be fine. So do not worry about that or get confused. You'll be fine. You can do the same thing with this one. These trusses can be pretty angled, but you can still climb on them, so don't worry about it. Once you get to the top of this, boom! You're on the second half. So now you're on the descending half of this tower. So now instead of going up the tower, you're going to be going down. Here's a speed part. Remember that from Toast? Now this... You have two options. You can walk around it, which is harder, or you can try and do a wraparound, which, for this, I'd recommend you press D and space and rotate your mouse quickly. If you fail, no worries. You can just go ahead and head right back up this ladder, and you'll be completely fine. You'll lose your speed, and you'll be able to go through here just fine, so make sure you're just quick to get out of there. Now, when you get here, don't try and do a head hitter, because if you do that, it's nearly impossible. Come out, and then touch this, and wait a few seconds to make sure you have all your speed gone. And then you have to walk around the frame on the top. Be very careful, because I don't think this is none. This is like the last part of the tower that you can fail on. Alright, once you fell into there, you're over safety nets for the rest of it. So, great job. You're completely fine. This is just a simple little path. You don't need to worry about this. This should be easy for you. Now, when you get here, you'll notice that you can hit your head on this. Just walk down. Don't worry about it. Just walk down it. And you can fall down, and now you're on the second part. See? Now we're on floor 7, and this is where this half kind of gets hard, because this part's annoying. You'll see why in a little bit. Now, long jumps. Remember. Alright, so here, you have to go into this area and collect the 3 buttons. So yeah, before you progress, you need to come in here and press these 3 buttons. Because if you don't, you're going to get trapped, and you're not going to be able to progress to the rest of the tower. So make sure you do that. It's very important. Now, this is the hardest part of the tower. Right here. This jump is long, and it's really hard. Go into first person and get into the corner like this. Then, go out by 1. So see how I'm in a little bit of a ghost mode. Now rotate holding your right mouse button. And then see how I'm kind of lined up? Now look out. And jump. It's a really hard one. Trust me, it really sucks. You're going to fail there a few times. Don't worry if you fail this. You just simply go back to the beginning of this section. And if you press the 3 buttons... make it to the next part. Great job. Make sure you go this way, though. Make sure when you get to the beginning, you go this way, so you can press the button, because you need to press the button to progress. Now, here's my tip with Killbrick safety nets. A lot of Killbrick safety nets may not have these safe pads where you can heal on them. So what I do is make sure your health is near full before you do these parts, because you can fail the first jump. And if you have half health and you need to go all the way across in order to hit that ladder, you're dead. So, keep an eye on your health. This part will definitely get you better at push boxes. Remember my tip? where you need to go ahead and push to the side of the corner you're going next. So see how I'm on the left? Now I'm going to push this far to the right. Then I have room. Keep this to the right. Continue. Keep this to the right. Be careful of that hole, because that can happen. Keep pushing through. Your character can walk over that gap. And just take your time. This is going to be a rage-inducing part. Don't worry about it. You're going to have to jump around. You're going to have to fall. Just try not to press that button if you can avoid it, because that will respawn it. Once you press this button, this part will open. So you can jump on down. Like this. And continue to this next part. So you may notice that you have these kill brick spinners in the way. I personally don't recommend you jump over these. Now, some of these will be Can Collide true, and they will push you off, but some won't. For this one, it's Can Collide false, so you can literally, and this is what I recommend you do, jump down, and just let it hurt you. Don't try and jump over it, because you might fail, and then you'll have to climb over that. It will barely hurt you, you don't need to worry about it. Now this section, this is a great reminder that you need to be careful of your health, because this section will purposely try to get your health low. And it's a long one. So, see how my health is really low? You gotta be careful. You need to know what you're doing. And now, notice how I have this kill brick net here. See how my health is low? I'm gonna wait till I'm full, because if I fail this part, I can easily die, so be careful. It's really easy to get screwed here. Alright, now once you get to the top of here, you'll go on this kill brick section and climb up this ladder. If you fail this part, you'll have to go ahead and do that entire little section over again. So, yeah, make sure you don't fail here. There's no hard jumps, pretty much. Last wrap around the tower. And you just have this simple little section here. None of these fall. And boom! That's Killjoys down. So yeah, very hard tower for beginners. Lots of wraparounds, lots of things to learn that Toast doesn't show you. Overall, it's a really interesting one, and it will definitely help you get your skill level up. Trust me. Alright, let's head into Tower of Hecc. This tower mainly uses thin studs as its gimmick, and this is the tower I would actually recommend you do before Killjoys, if you're me, because it will help you get used to being precise on blocks before you do wraparounds. But do you. It's time for Tower of Hecc. So one thing about this tower is there isn't much to say in regards of how to do things, because this is the first tower that was ever made for the game, and it's fairly simple, to be honest. So it's a lot of trial and error and such. A lot of towers will be like that, so be careful. This is a slide. This isn't a very, very rare thing that you'll see. When you see this, jump immediately. Because what will happen is you'll smash the wall and fall off. So be careful of that. This tower also uses some invisible paths. Don't worry, it's just a fake. You can just continue on, no problem. Now, since this slide is guarded, I recommend you slide through it. Alright, so now we're here at floor 4. Now what you can do is you can jump on top like this. See, I'm pressing space, waiting a little bit, then D. Or, you can do what I do, and wrap around them. Depends on what you think is easier. Now, when you get to here, you want to get near the top, and then try and jump up. What can happen is... Let me try and get it for you. This. Just press space and jump off, until you can get up. Now, this is a little bit of a trap section. Land on this one, and this one. The other two fall, so be careful of that. A general tip for thin studs. I didn't say this, and I probably should have earlier. You want to press space, then W onto them, unless they're further away. See? Because it's way easier to adjust your momentum for them. So, learn that. It's very important. So when you get to 5, this floor is the first floor that is kind of tricky. And this is where you're going to get tested. Go into shift lock like I am. And then you want to press, and then you want to go ahead and watch my keyboard overlay. You want to press D and then W. See how I climbed up right that? It's fairly simple. It'll take you some time to get used to it, but it's not that hard once you get it down, trust me. You don't even need to move your mouse at all. Now here, I used to walk down these and I don't recommend it. Go ahead and skip every other one. Get to here. Jump around. And then you want to go ahead and head up this truss. Now for this one, make sure you're at the very edge before you get off. And when you do Shift and D like that so you can move back a little more. And then, well, that's pretty much the rest of 5. This floor is a little bit tricky, so be warned. These are all falling platforms, so be quick. Alright, now we're at 6. Oh boy, this floor gets people really, really annoyed. So here's the thing about this floor. This is a conveyor, and many people don't know how to do it right. Let me show you how to do it right. Come up to it, and you don't want to press anything. The catch is, these 2 platforms are falling platforms, so you need to be quick. Let me show you how I do it. And this is the easiest way to do it, by the way, so watch. See? Do nothing, and as soon as you see that go down, then you want to go off of it. I'll show you again. Alright, come back to here, do nothing until that moves down. You have quite a bit of time. Now when you get to here, do a header jump, and you're back up here. Fairly simple. And make sure to watch out, because these 3 fall, and it's really easy to get screwed there. Alright, here's an outside part. Here's the thing. You don't want to jump from here, because you'll hit your head. Get towards the edge, and then jump out. So, be careful about that. You don't want to hit your head and get screwed. And this outside section is really free, don't worry about it. And these fall, so make sure to be careful. When you get to here as well, this is an invisible path. Don't worry about it. Leap of faith jump, be careful about that one. That one's a little bit tricky. Alright, now we're on 7. Skip that one stud, and you'll be good to go. Yeah, I will say this tower is definitely a second half heavy one, and you'll see definitely why later. And now this is a part that gets people confused. You can barely see it, and I don't think you can on camera. There's actually, in-game you can barely see it, a block here. So you want to land on this. My tip is, get into like a 45-degree angle like this. And this is Tower of Anger right here. Go a little bit right of that, and you'll be able to land it. This is like, yes, that was a little bit close. So maybe not like this. That's the best way to do it. It's a little bit further than you think. Now you have to be careful, because these are falling platforms. So be careful. Falling platforms are the last thing you expect to see in a lot of this tower. And that's pretty much the main gimmick this thing has, is falling platforms. So be careful. Alrighty, now we're on floor 8. Whoa, that is disgustingly thin. Do not worry about it. I'm going to show you a trick. So you want to see how my cursor is on this tightrope like this? Now use your alignment keys, which are the greater and less than keys. Do that once, and now you're perfectly aligned to go straight. And then, you can just walk right on forward. So make sure you're towards the middle, because this isn't perfectly aligned. So see how I'm in the middle like this? Use my alignment keys, and I'm going to just continue walking forward. You'll be able to walk across, or you can do the typical technique I like to recommend, which is to tap W along the tightrope, and keep your mouse on cursor, the left side of it, on it. You'll be able to go through it every time. Now these fall. Be careful. Everything that looks suspicious, you gotta treat as a trap, so be careful. Alright, now you're at floor 8 outside. Do not go on this slide. As soon as you slide down, jump. Because this will fling you out. So be very careful. Alright, here's another tightrope. You can do the same technique as before, or alignment keys and go across. Now, if you're on mobile, I believe the technique is to go 45 degrees, and then just go ahead and go for it. So, if you're on mobile, these tightropes are going to suck. You need to go like this on them. So, yeah. Have fun, guys. I'll stick to my PC. Thank you. Now, when you get to here, it's another invisible path. Now, when you get to here, go up the left side, and that's it. It'll make that way easier. And now you're done with 8, and you're on 9. 9 and 10, you're gonna suffer on a lot. These floors are the hardest, so you gotta be careful here. Oh yeah! I almost fell for those. Those fall! You gotta be careful. Literally everything falls in this tower. It's annoying. Alright, so when you get to here, just make sure your health is full, and just go for it. Don't go on the sides. It's just frustrating. And then when you get to here, this may confuse you. Just simply jump on the sides, ignore the tightrope. It doesn't exist. And then, just jump your way across this, and you're on floor 10. Great job. Here's the problem about 10. Transparent platforms. These do not fall, so you can take your time on them. Make sure you know what you're doing, and be very careful. Because now, it's thin. One stud. Look straight down, and you'll be able to see the border pretty easily, so be careful. Now, when you get to here, it disappears. Here's the thing, you gotta connect the dots. So here's where I recommend use alignment keys and walk forward. You can scroll out, and you'll be able to see the other side. Be very careful. And now, see how I'm pretty close? Now I jump to it. Now I'm good. Now here's a skip that you can do. I'm gonna show you the way you can do this with a skip, which is really nice. So this platform is fine. These will fall. Now what you can do is this. Yeah, you can do that, and you skip a lot of the floor, and you will not have to worry about failing, which is really nice. It's probably easier to do this skip, and actually it is easier, if you do it from this position, because you can see it way easier. You can jump right onto here, and then you'll progress through the rest of the tower. You only have to do a little bit of it this floor, which I'd recommend is what you do. If you don't want to do that, you can jump on top or wrap around these. You probably want to jump on top. And then just continue through. Be careful, because those will fall. This is gonna suck. Ignore that first one and just go like that. Trust me. And then get on top of these and just go for it. And, well, after you do that, you're right back to where that skip takes you, so. Now for this one, I wouldn't recommend you do alignment keys for, but you can do them. Actually, that's really easy to do with alignment keys. Do that with alignment keys. Now here, these are one studs that are barely visible. And then, treat these as long jumps. If you don't know how to do long jumps right, go into here like this, and you can just go ahead and press D and go off. But I recommend what you do is just go off a shift lock and then press D, because then you'll be able to climb them, like this. And, well, that's the rest of the tower of Hecc. GG. This tower is fairly short, and will definitely get you good at thin studs, so just be warned, it is hard. And, boom, that's Tower of Hecc down. Nice job. Alright, so this doesn't show, but we have 7 points now. We only need to get 2 more in order to unlock... Or, excuse me, I'm sorry, we only have 6. See, I am confused. We have 6 points. We need 3 more. So, we need to beat it difficult. Why don't we do keyboard eating? Yeah, this tower only has like 1 part, and it's the only reason why it's difficult. But let me warn you, I don't mean to be blunt, you're not gonna have a good time. Let's just get into it. Alright, so the first floor of this is fairly simple. The first thing you'll need to worry about is this. Just simply look a little bit to the left and hold W in space. Don't need to worry about that at all. It is not that hard. Don't worry about it. Here is a split path. I recommend you take the left. Even though it is harder, after doing TOH and TOK, should be pretty simple. Oh yeah, that's something I want to mention. If you do TOH, do not go to this one. Do TOK first. Scroll back in the video. Thank you. Alright, now here's your first little tricky part. If you're colorblind, this part's gonna suck, let me warn you. I have a friend that's colorblind, he hates this. So these are pretty much the same color, but the lighter ones are can't collide false, and you'll fall through them. So just keep your eye out on what's fake and what's not, and you'll be able to progress these very simply. When you get to here, go to the left, get on the edge, jump off. Now here, you want to go further down, inside, and then jump off. Now here's the thing about Killjoys. Keyboard eating. is that the way this tower gets its difficulty is it's fairly simple, and then it will pull out a difficulty spike at you. And here's your first one. So here's what I recommend you do. Alignment key up so you're facing the wall, and then get to the edge, and then you need to jump to the other side. It looks intimidating, but just jump late, and you'll be able to go through here just fine. Get on top of here, get close to the edge, jump. No problem. Very easy jump once you get used to it, trust me. Now this pushing platform is going to be wonky. Don't go into shift lock, look to the left, see how my character leaned to the left there, then you can just walk off. Don't try and jump straight over, it won't work, you'll just fail. Oh yeah, make sure you do these jumps to the right, because if you don't, you won't have a good time. When you get here, keep your eyes out for this thing, because this will go over this platform and could push you off. So keep your eye out for that. It is that bad. It has happened to me a few times, and when it does, I am not very happy with myself. Alright. Now, floor 5. This is the reason why this tower is difficult, is this part here. This conveyor section sucks. I have nothing to say to you here other than watch my keyboard overlay and learn it. It's really bad. Just simply be very, very light with it and just tap W in space. You need to be diligent and make sure you're in shift lock so that you can rotate around quickly. This part is not easy. There's no easy way to do it, and it's the only reason this is difficult, but trust me, this is the easiest difficult in the game. So I recommend you do it. So for this, look forward, look 90 degrees, and then you can just swipe on over like this. Might fall here a couple times, but once you do this once, it's not that bad, trust me. Then, transition over to here. Get on top, and then rotate your camera quickly. You'll get off just fine. So once you've done that, great job, because that's the hardest part of the tower, and it freaking sucks. Now here, make sure you're looking forward. If you're to the side, this is too far angled. You will fall off, so be careful. Now when you get to here, ignore this. This takes you to an old gift spawn for one of the Christmas events. Jump on top of here, and now you're at floor 6. Great job. If you get here, a great job. You can beat this tower. It'll just take you a little bit of time. And then you have an outside section. Oh, I'm sure you're excited. Be careful of this wraparound, though. As you noticed, you can hit your head on it. So make sure you adjust your timing for whatever happens to you here. And jump late going onto that block. Because if you don't, you'll hit your head. For this, I recommend you go out like that. It's way simpler for me. Then, I personally recommend you just ignore these skill bricks like they don't exist. And now you get to a jump that was impossible in 2018. Just do it like that and you'll be fine. So here's the next part of the tower that will spike in difficulty, is this spinner. This spinner is really fast and will be hard for newer players to get onto, but just have some practice and you'll be able to go through it just fine. You will fall there a few times and it will suck. Now this wraparound is also pretty garbage. It's like a 6 or 7 stud raised. Don't worry about it. Just pretty much treat this like a stick out that you just have to rotate really quickly. You'll be able to go up there just fine. Alright, now you get to here. This will suck, but this is the easy way to do it. It will take you a few attempts, and now you're at 7. Great job. Now, you want to hold W and A. See how I press space, wait a little bit, then W and A so I could get up higher. And then, you'll be completely safe. Make sure you're in shift lock when you do that part, please. Now, the ice part. This part sucks, but the good news is, if you fail the harder parts of it, you'll fall back to 6. You'll either have to do, you can fall to here, to there, or you'll fall on top, or you'll do that. So don't worry about it. This part's mostly meta. Hold space to negate the ice, because look what happens normally. Yeah, pretty garbage, right? It's really hard to control. So hold space, and for the most part, you'll be fine. And then you just, as soon as you jump, go ahead and rotate. Now here, get to the left side, hold D, get to the edge, and then jump. And hold it. Get to the edge again, and do it again. If you fail that, as long as you, yeah, if you fail this, you'll just fall there, so don't worry about it. So I'll show this to you again, but from the left side. Get to the edge, hold A, get toward the end, and then you can jump. It will take you a little bit of practice, but trust me, once you do that, you're good to go. Because after that ice part, you make it to floor 8 already. I almost just walked off there. That would have been embarrassing. Make sure you do this forward, and you're good to go. So floor 8 can be a little bit annoying. And well, let me explain to you the trick here. Get towards the middle and jump out. But as you notice, this goes too far for you to jump. So tap W. See how I'm tapping it? And then jump off like that. No easier way to explain it. Most people fail it. Tap W and then just go for it. Then you can progress through the rest of the floor. That's probably the hardest part of the floor right there, by the way. Alright, so now for this one. Tap W because you do not want to go into that kill brick. And jump off. This kill brick will easily hurt you very bad. Get out of there. Now for this, you gotta jump late onto these. It's very easy to hit your head. And that's it for 8. You're already on 9. And 9 is fairly simple for the most part, trust me. It'll tell you to remember these, but you actually really don't, because you can do the camera trick. See how my camera goes through that? That means it's can collide false. But see how my camera doesn't go through that? That's the path you want to go on. So just simply do this, and you'll be able to get to the other side. Do not do that tightrope. That is absolute garbage. Do not do it. It is so dumb. Alright, once you've done that, you have some long jumps. Be careful of that one. That one's really long. So get into a position like this, and then A in space. Or D in space, depending on what direction you're in. This is a very long jump. Be careful. And now for these. Space, then D. Rotate around. Space. And you can just climb on up like this. Take your time. You'll get into a climbing animation every time. Just tap W to get out of it. And well, that's literally the end of 9, and now you're at 10. Great job. Now this floor is a little bit difficult. Let me warn you about that. Because of one jump in particular. This jump. This jump sucks, and if you fail it, well, you're either gonna have to grab yourself there or get onto 9. It's a really hard and dumb jump. So you can go ahead and try and rotate like you're gonna do a longer wraparound and then climb this, which is what I recommend you do. Get to the edge like this, rotate your camera a little bit, then press D and get up. That's the easiest way to do it. Or you can try and go further out like I did and get into this part, and then do a long head hitter. It really depends on what you want to do, but that's the easiest way to do it. Just hold W so you can climb on up just fine. That way, it's pretty hard just to do that, and then you have to do that jump. Find what's easier for you. That's the most important thing. Now for this, be very slow. Just take it really slow. I'm taking this a little fast because I'm used to this. You want to go slower than I am. Trust me. Tap W very little. Oh, see? It's very easy to get messed up here. Then, you have the last jump onto this. So here's what I do. Look at it like this. Press your alignment keys quickly. You need to do it quickly, because if you don't, your legs will split and you can fall off. So, nice and quick. Jump, land on it, and then you can climb up this ladder. One last long jump. And ta-da! That's your first difficult tower. Literally, that's your first difficult tower. So great job. So you already have the requirements in order to unlock Ring 3. But here's the thing. While you could go ahead and play some easier towers in Forgotten Ridge in order to unlock it, I don't recommend you do that, because you want to up your skill. So, unfortunately, I'm going to make you work your butt off even worse. You can get to Ring 3 easier if you go ahead and go to Forgotten Ridge, but the thing is, you are going to need to do a challenging tower, if I remember right, in order to unlock Ring 5, and that's going to be a problem. If you do all the easy stuff, you're going to have problems getting that you'll get... Ugh, I'm not speaking, I'm sorry. You'll have problems trying to do that challenging. So please go ahead and not take the easy route for this, because now it's only about to get worse. So, meet me in Ring 2 and I'll show you what we need to do. Alright, welcome to Ring 2. It's time for us to go in here. We have to do these two towers. We're going to do these two towers in order to unlock the third ring. TOOH and TOCH. Do Overcoming Hatred first, obviously. That's the easiest way to say about it. Just go right into Overcoming Hatred, and let's go ahead and go through this one, because this is going to be the worst tower that you've played yet. This tower is just garbage. But it will make your Thin Stud game really good. It will make Thin Studs way easier for you. It will make 1x1 seem like they're nothing. Trust me. This tower is going to help you a lot. Alright, once we pass floor 2 outside, all of these fall, so be careful of that. Then, you'll be able to progress right on through. Doesn't matter which direction you go. And then you'll make it to floor 3 already, after these falling platforms. And now here is where you can make your life way easier. This is floor 3. Here's the thing. You can go this way and continue through the rest of the tower, or you can do a dance clip and skip a lot of it. Yes, you can skip a lot of this tower with a dance clip. So let me explain how it works. Come up to this wall, jump once, until you don't have your legs splitting like this, and then say E-Dance2. I have a macro to do this, but if you don't, just say /E-Dance2, Control A it, and then Control C, because then you'll copy it. You'll dance like this. What you want is when your character is all the way to the right, not when the animation is fully done. As soon as your character is fully to the right, like this, press Shift, and you'll clip through the wall. So, it's really nice. Very consistent once you get it down. So jump once, E-Dance2, let your dance, see how my character torso's all the way to the right? Press Shift and you'll clip through the wall as long as you have Shift Lock on. If you don't have Shift Lock on, come up to the wall, tilt a little bit like this, go out like this, E-Dance2, and then just go into first person and you'll clip through. Makes this way easier, this tower will be less of a pain, and I highly recommend you do this. Please, spend 15 minutes to clip through here, if not more, to learn it once. It will make your life way nicer for you. Figure out what's better, the jump technique or the tilt technique. Learn that timing. It's very important. But if you can't, and I mean please, 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 spend so much time trying to get that laugh clip, or this dance clip down. And don't do it from here, because it won't work. You have to do it toward the wall. See how this is like half a stud thick? That's how thin it needs to be for you to do these clips. So make sure you're like here to the wall before you do this clip. You'll be able to go through here just fine. Please spend the time to do this skip. It will make this tower less of a pain. If you're an idiot, and yes, I mean that literally, and want to beat this skip list, go ahead and follow me. This is the worst thing you can do. Trust me. Alright. So once you do that, you'll be sent into this section, in which you don't need to do this. You can just jump around. Now this server has kill brick lag, so see how I'm barely taking damage? Other servers, you might take a little more, so keep that in mind. And then, you're now in the flesh of the tower. There's no burnets from here. This is going to be tricky. Go into the keyhole like this, rotate quickly, and then you'll be able to climb on up. Now here is why I think you need to do this skip. This is a healing simulator. Let me explain. So typically, and this server is laggy, so you're fortunate, you'll have to stand here and heal. Now, if you have the trail mix item, which you can buy, but I think you'll need to you have to reset. You can buy this for 300 Robux, and it will heal your health quicker. But typically, when you fail that safety net, which you're going to a lot, because this tower is really hard, you're going to have to sit here and heal every single time. And you're going to get the anticipation to rush through here, and you're going to kill yourself. And this is going to get really tedious and frustrating. Please, for the love of God, do the skip for that reason. Now you might notice that there is a bootleg gravity coil in here. Do not buy this. It will make this way easier, but trust me. I use the coil a lot in my beginning years. And because of that, that's why I use an old account. Because all the towers on my main are pretty much coiled. Which is not good. And then you have this like massive crisis and stuff. Please, do all the towers legit. It'll make your life way easier. Do not use the gravity coil. Like, I cannot express it enough. The worst decision I've ever done as a player in J2 is use the coil for a lot of my towers. Please, for the love of God, never use the coil. It will literally cause problems for you. You'll just cry. Because it'll be at a point where you want to progress your skill level, and then you have to play itemless. Or play without the coil, and you won't feel motivated to, and then you'll make a new account because there's not multiple saves. Trust me, do not use the coil. Alright, so here's a gimmick that's pretty rare, and exclusive to this tower, pretty much. See how this pushing platform goes down and will launch me up? Once you get launched up and get toward the peak of your jump, you need to get out of that. This one's a little harder. This is the hardest one. See? So get toward the edge, but not the very edge, because of this. Then climb up like that. Go into here, and now you have some conveyors. So this one moves to the right, so tilt your character like this. Then jump. This goes to the left. This one goes down. Yeah, that's hard. That is actually hard. Jesus Christ. Alright, and once you do that, you get into this dropper. And that's where you get back here again. So, if you've done that skip, you skipped all of that. And if you didn't do the skip, well, that's how much you could skip. So, let's go ahead and progress through the rest of the tower now. This dropper section is pretty simple, and you don't really need to worry about it. And plus, it's netted, so. Now, when you get to here, you'll get into this long truss climb. You don't need to do that. Look up, and then hold W in space. And then when you get near the top, then you have to stop. Now, you're back outside. So if you're doing this with skips, what I recommend you do, if you do that skip, if you fall to this floor, well, it depends on where you fall. I'll explain. If you fail this outside, reset and do the skip again. Alright, so now, for those of you who did the skip and did not watch through, these are pushing platforms that are vertical that will launch you up. So what you want to do is as soon as you get launched by these, that's when you want to do your move. Now this one's a little tricky because you have to go very vertical. So wait until you're near the apex of your jump and then jump on. Then you'll have these tight ropes. This is going to be tricky. Take it slow. I'm taking it a little fast because I'm used to tight ropes because I've played this a little for years. I've played this game for going on 3 years now, so. And then, you get to why this tower is really hard. The rest of the tower sucks in difficulty. I don't mean to be blunt. It sucks. If you fall to the bottom of this net, or onto this side of it, reset your run. If you're doing the skip. Because you do not want to do that healing maze. It freaking sucks. So, but if you fail to floor 5, like you fell onto one of these structures, go ahead and continue to run. Don't worry about it. You can always look back if you have a part that you're struggling with. If you fall down there, though, just reset your run. These spinners are transparent. Make sure to jump late so you don't hit your head. And now you'll see these 1 blocks, and make sure you don't spend a while on spinners, because they do move your character. So you'll need to move every once in a while. Ignore that first 1 stud. Get on the second spinner. Now get on the thin stud. Jump onto this spinner. Now I recommend you do this in third person so you can see this easier. This is a tilting platform. So basically, let me explain the easiest way to control these. So, you want to push this all the way down until it starts going up. Then you go to the opposite side. And then when it gets nearly vertical, you can jump off of it. That's going to take some practice. And it sucks. Look how I do it, and it'll make it easier. For this part, I'll go ahead and jump back down so that you can see it. Get to the edge, press space, and tap W. You'll be able to get out there just fine. And now you're on the next floor. This tower is very short, but it packs quite a punch in it. It is really painful. Now here, there is our half studs, even thinner than what you're used to. See, I even failed them. My tip for you, and that one's even a quarter, so yeah, these get really small. Just take your time through here, using that to your advantage, and now you're on the blue floors. You're on floor 8. This is where things get worse. Put yourself in alignment like this, and hold W all the way up to here. Now is where things you have... This is going to get tricky. You need to hold W and then hold D as soon as you let go. Then you're able to get off. Make sure you shift lock when you do that. It's really hard and it takes a little bit of practice. Use the keyboard overlay. You can see that, so you can see my actions. Now you can see me do it again. Get to around here. Get into an alignment. Go into shift lock. Go up. Let go of W, and as soon as I did, I pressed A. So, be warned about that. And now your matters are only going to get worse, because this floor sucks a lot as well. You thought those thin studs were bad? Let's make it even worse. What you do here, get toward the edge, jump up, and then rotate your character. Then you want to tap in, like this, and you want to press space and W to get out. Then you can get to 9. This part sucks. Get to the edge, jump, rotate, get in, move in. Press W and rotate your camera so you can move in. You don't need to press D to do that. And it will cause you to launch off. And space and W and you'll get on. One more time. This time I won't say anything. This part is painful, even for me. Now you're on 9. Now if you're not on a Killbrick lag server like I am, you need to be careful of your health. Because now you have thin studs on Killbricks. So you can't take your time. Make sure you're full health. And then try and be decently quick, but you don't need to be very quick. Now here, rotate. Make sure you're full health before you do these sections, by the way. I'm going to say that again. Make sure you are full health before you do any of these sections. And jump on the Killbricks like this to negate damage. Kind of like how you did with TOKY in the ice physics. Jump to here. Now you need to press space and then tap W just a little bit. See how little I tap W on my keyboard overlay? It's very small. Make sure you're full health, and then you can continue through. Now once you get to here, you're at 10. And it gets worse. I'm sorry, it gets worse. So this is one of these vertical sections, and it's fairly simple all the way until the ends. Let me show you why. Unless I almost failed that. Jeez, that was close. Alright, so here's the last one. You have to get on top of the wind pad, which is really hard to do. Get toward the edge while it's moving down. Make sure it's moving down when you're messing around. And as soon as that goes out... Wow. Yeah, it's so hard. Like, even I have problems with it, and it takes me a while to get it. Alright, let's try that again. I'm gonna do it this way now. See? I have no way to explain that other than to get used to it. You'll feel that a lot. Trust me. It happens a lot, and it's painful. Nothing else really to say there other than the practice. This is probably gonna be the worst tower that you'll play for a while. This tower is terrible. It's not fun. It's garbage. It's one of the worst towers in the game to many, and for good reasons, so... Well, that's overcoming hatred down. So... Yeah, that tower sucks, but trust me, when you get out of that, it will feel nice, and you'll be way better at thin studs, and I have no reason why you float here. So, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and move on to the last tower we need to do in order to unlock Ring 3. And that's Cold Hands. So this tower is a lot like keyboard Yeeting, where it uses spikes in order to get its difficulty. So if you hit a keyboard Yeeting, I hate to break it to you, this is probably not going to be fun either. So the first floor is fairly simple, but make sure when you're transitioning onto this, that this ain't going around, because you can hit your head there and lose your run. And now, you're on floor 2. So for this, just simply watch what I did. It'll take you a little bit, likely, but overall, it's fairly simple. Now when you get here, climb on top of this. Get off. And then, climb up like that. Now, be careful, because if you press space on a truss, you can get launched. Now, when you get to here, don't go all the way down. See how I am? Like this? Then you jump to there. That's how you want to do that part. You can't go down lower. It's impossible to jump down. It's a troll. Alright, so floor 3 is probably going to be the hardest floor for you, and it's going to be a roadblock for a while, because it actually is pretty hard. Because of one section in particular. The triangles right here. So, here's the easiest way to do them. Once again, this third triangle... get onto here. Now, what you need to do is be careful, because you can get flung really easily. Tap S really slowly. Rotate your camera to go down a little bit. See how I'm rotating the camera and I'm going down a little bit? Then, just treat it like a head header. Best way to explain it. This part absolutely sucks and takes a lot of practice. Rotate your camera down, make sure you're pretty low. Treat it like a head hitter. And also for this, you'll need to press S for longer. Because you're on an angle, it'll take a little longer for you to go back. So make sure you hold S a little longer than you're used to when you do this jump. I'll do that again. See how long you press S? Takes a little while. But once you did that, you'll make it onto floor 4. And that's literally the hardest part of the tower down. No joke, that is literally the hardest part of it. Alright, so for these, you might have a little bit of an issue rotating middle of the air if you decide to do that, but you can always just go ahead and do it like this. Let me go down here. You can always just rotate around and jump like that. Do whatever suits you. But I recommend you get used to shift lock very quickly, because you'll need to do that. You need to have good shift lock skills if you want to play anything really hard. Okay, for this jump, please do that. It'll make it easier. Because if you do it this way, you need to hold D and let go of it at a perfect time. Now for this, alignment key, go into shift lock or whatever, use the alignment keys and just walk over to here. And then one more. And then you're out of there. So floor 4 might suck a little bit, but overall it's not terrible. You'll get it down. Now for this, you need to be angled perfectly for these ladders. So be very careful. Alright, so for this, I recommend you don't do the tightrope, just do that. Now for this one, it's a very thin tightrope that you have to do in first person like this. Take your time. Oh yeah, be careful because you can hit your head there. Don't do it that way. Don't do it that way. Do it this way. Alright, for this, you can do wraparounds normally, but this is one of the rare times where I will tell you to do it this way. Because there's so many of them and they're shorter overall. But if you're a new player, I recommend you still do these like 180 degrees. Because if you try and do them this way, it's going to be a little hard for you. But you can figure out whatever works for you. And, same thing from Tower of Hecc. Literally the same thing, but you need to hold D for longer. Alright, so now I have to tell you how to do truss jumps. So here's how they work. So how trusses work is, see how when you get to the top, you get into this like walking animation. So what you want to do is stay in shift lock, and then when you get into that standing up animation, you press space, and you'll be able to jump on them and climb up them. So you'll need to do that a few times. Okay, do not go that way. Go into here, go up this way, and now you're at 7. So let me show you how to do that one more time. This is a new mechanic, and it's a little weird. You want to go longer than you think. If you do this, you can do that, but it's recommended you go longer. So see how it lasted a little while before I jumped there? Now you're on 7 outside. This is literally the last hard part of the tower. Yes, this outside part has a hard jump in it. Okay, get on top of this. And now you have your worst nightmare. This jump. Get onto here, and now you have to do this wraparound perfectly. And it's really easy to mess it up. So let me explain how you do it. Get to around here, go into shift lock, press D and then hold W. So you want to go out, and as soon as you're ready to turn, press W and rotate your camera. Yeah, it's a hard jump. See? Look at my keyboard overlay, and you'll be able to see how to do it right. It takes practice. It will take you a while, and to be blunt, it sucks. But once you pass that, that's literally the last tricky part of the tower. So, I'm sure that will make you relieved. And welcome to 8. So when you get to here, climb up the ladder this way. And now you have these buggy spinners. Because when they touch each other, they kind of slow down. As soon as these are out of the way, don't use muscle memory here. Make sure they're out of the way. And then you can go through them. The timing's pretty lenient, though. Take it easy. And that's the rest of 8. Climb on up here. Now this part, take it slowly. I know that was a little fast, but you can take it slow there. Don't let the kill brick scare you. Get on top of here, and heal, and then you can just go ahead and wrap around. Now I do believe... Yeah, that's way too hard to do. Don't do that. Now keep in mind, I'm in a kill brick lag server, so I barely took damage, but typically, you're going to take a lot of damage, so be careful. Alright, for these pushing platforms, this one is fine. You can just hold W. This one, tap it, because watch what happens. See how it pushes back? You don't want that, because that can push you off. So tap W into here and jump off. And, well, once you've done that, you've made it to floor 10. Great job. So you can get on top if you're really good at obbies. You can just flick up here. Do not do that, please. If you're a new person at obbies, it will suck and you will fail. It is not a pause strategy. And sometimes you will get lucky and move up like that. But the point is, you want to get up to this level. Because if you try and beat this and go here, this is a 10-stud wraparound. Now, as a veteran player, that's not too bad. But for you, this jump is going to suck, and you're not going to want to do this. And plus, it's really hard to get up there. So, don't try that. What you do is you go to here, go into first person, rotate forward like this, look up, and then you want to press jump, and then get into the climbing animation, and then you can just walk on out. See? Then, ta-da! You're done! You're gonna get a bunch of badges. So you get the Cold Hands badge, and you beat 10 towers. And yes, for some reason, I did record this before, by the way. This is all the stuff you get, and I think this looks pretty cool. This cosmetic combination, like this. I think it's pretty cool. The smoke also looks really cool. But here's the thing. If you want players to see your cosmetics and stuff, but you don't, if you go into settings and just disable your cosmetics, now for some reason it's not working, I think you need to reset. Let me reset here. No, alright, so this is broken. Alright, whatever. But yeah, typically when you disable the cosmetics, you can't see them, but the other players that do have this setting off can. So, once you've done that, I gotta give you a huge pat on the back if you've made it to Ring 3, because my lord, that was not easy trying to get you through all those towers, but I'm sure you'll feel really happy to get your Talented badge, which is your pass into Ring 3. And well, congratulations to you, because welcome to Ring 3. I'm sure this is a nice breath of fresh air after that insanely hard journey. Welcome to the third ring. This is considered the break ring. It is commonly considered and really is the easiest area in the game. So take this with a grain of salt, because this is the easiest time you're going to have. Get up here with this obby, and well, here's Ring 3. And this is the difficulty chart. Like, nothing is really that hard in this ring. It's pretty lenient. So yeah, congratulations if you make it here. We only got one episode left before we make it to Ring 5. Next episode, I'm going to show you how to get to Ring 4 and 5. And well, after that, it's off to you. Thank you all very much for watching. Congratulations for making it to Ring 3. And I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.